The rise, early life and dreams. In a small town in South Carolina where basketball courts were more than just patches of concrete, a young boy named Ja Morant first discovered his passion. Born into a family where sports ran in the blood, Ja's father, T. Morant, had once played professional basketball overseas. But their life was far from the glitz and glamour of big leagues. It was simple, grounded, and filled with hard work. From the very beginning, Ja knew he wanted more, not just for himself but for his family. As a child, Ja was not the tallest or the fastest. In fact, many around him doubted that he could ever rise above the small-town courts where talent often went unnoticed. Yet what Ja lacked in size he made up for with something far greater: relentless determination. Every afternoon after school, while others rested or played, Ja was already on the court, dribbling, shooting, and pushing his limits. The sound of the bouncing ball and the swish of the net became the soundtrack of his youth. High school was both a proving ground and a battleground. At Crestwood High, Ja wasn't an immediate star. The spotlight often fell on bigger, more physically imposing players. Coaches and scouts overlooked him, questioning whether he had what it took to play at higher levels. But Ja refused to be defined by others' doubts. With every practice, he honed his skills, his quickness, his vision on the court, and a fearless confidence that set him apart. He wasn't just playing the game, he was rewriting what was possible. One defining moment came during a regional tournament. Ja's team was trailing and the crowd's energy had turned sour. The pressure was immense, but in those moments Ja's spirit ignited. With unmatched agility and boldness, he led a comeback that left the gym buzzing long after the final buzzer. It was a glimpse of what was to come. A young man who could change the course of any game with sheer will and talent. But dreams were not enough. Ja faced a central conflict that shadows many young athletes: the challenge of recognition. Coming from a smaller school and less heralded background, the path to college scholarships and professional opportunities was steep and uncertain. Ja had to prove himself not only against competitors but also against a system that often favored the obvious stars. This battle for acknowledgement fueled his drive. He learned early that talent must be paired with perseverance, and that setbacks were just chapters in a longer story. Through it all, Ja remained grounded by the support of his family. His father's lessons about discipline and resilience echoed in every decision Ja made. His mother's unwavering belief was the anchor that kept him focused on the bigger picture. Together they shaped a young man ready to face the next steps, whatever they might be. This is where Ja Morant's journey truly begins. Not as a celebrated superstar, but as a boy with a dream and a heart that refused to quit. The road ahead would test him in ways he could never imagine, but it would also reveal the extraordinary player and person he was destined to become. And so, with the echoes of bouncing basketballs and cheers from small crowds fading into the background, Ja's story was set to unfold. One play, one challenge, one moment at a time. The journey: college and NBA draft. The leap from high school courts to the bright lights of college basketball was both exhilarating and daunting for Ja Morant. Though his talent was undeniable, his path was far from certain. Many major programs had overlooked him, but Murray State University saw something special, a spark that others had missed. This opportunity wasn't just a chance to play. It was a proving ground where Ja would confront new challenges and show the world what he was truly capable of. At Murray State, the pace quickened. The competition was fiercer, the stakes higher. Ja wasn't just another player. He was a point guard with a vision that went beyond scoring. His court awareness was extraordinary, weaving through defenders with a combination of speed, precision, and creativity that left crowds in awe. Yet behind the highlight reels was a young man who worked tirelessly in the gym, practicing shots until they were perfect, studying opponents, and pushing himself beyond limits most would shy away from. The first season was a test of patience. Ja faced skepticism and pressure to prove that he belonged at this level. Every game was a battle not just against rivals, but against the lingering doubts planted by years of being underestimated. But with each passing week his confidence grew. He delivered performances that shifted momentum and rallied his teammates, reminding everyone that talent coupled with relentless effort could change the game. One of the defining moments came during his sophomore year. In a crucial game against a top-ranked opponent, Ja's brilliance shone brightest. His agility and fearless drives to the basket overwhelmed defenders, while his pinpoint assists demonstrated his selflessness. That night, the underdog became the undeniable star, captivating scouts, analysts, and fans alike. Suddenly, Ja was no longer just a promising player from a small school. He was a legitimate NBA prospect. Yet even as his college career flourished, the looming question of the NBA draft brought a new kind of uncertainty. The draft was more than a selection process. It was a crossroads that would determine whether years of sacrifice and sweat would translate into the realization of a lifelong dream. Ja knew the stakes were high. Every scout's report, every whispered rumor could shape his future. Draft night was a whirlwind of emotions. The waiting, the anticipation, the hope mixed with fear. As names were called, some of Ja's peers were chosen early and the tension built with every pick. When his name finally echoed through the arena, picked second overall by the Memphis Grizzlies, it was a moment of triumph. Not just for him but for everyone who had believed in him when others did not. Being drafted wasn't the end of his journey. It was the beginning of a new chapter filled with greater expectations and challenges. The boy from South Carolina had made it to the NBA, but the real test lay ahead. Can he rise and redefine what's possible on basketball's biggest stage? As the cheers of draft night faded, Ja stood ready, fueled by the same fire that had driven him from the start. His journey was far from over, and the world was about to witness how a once-overlooked kid would transform into a basketball sensation. The spotlight, NBA stardom and playing style. The moment Ja Morant stepped onto the hardwood of the NBA, he did more than just join the league. He announced himself as a force to be reckoned with. His rookie season with the Memphis Grizzlies wasn't simply a debut. It was a declaration of arrival, a vivid display of athleticism and fearlessness that electrified fans and confounded opponents. Ja's game was a breathtaking blend of raw talent and polished skill, woven together by an unyielding will to succeed. From the very first tip-off, Ja's energy was undeniable. His speed sliced through defenses like a sharpened blade, while his court vision revealed passing lanes others barely noticed. Watching him play was like witnessing a symphony in motion. Every dribble, every leap, every assist perfectly timed and executed with precision. Yet beneath this dazzling display was a player who thrived on teamwork and selflessness, always seeking the right moment to lift his team higher. One defining aspect of Ja's style was his fearless approach. He attacked the basket with a blend of agility and power, soaring for dunks that seemed to defy gravity and ignite the crowd. His explosive athleticism wasn't just for highlight reels. It changed the very rhythm of games, forcing opponents to rethink their defense. But it wasn't just about offense. Ja's defensive instincts, quick hands, and relentless hustle added another layer to his growing legend. With each game, Ja Morant reshaped the Memphis Grizzlies' identity. The team, once seen as underdogs, began to carry the hopes of a city hungry for a new hero. His leadership on the court, marked by unwavering confidence and resilience, inspired teammates and fans alike. More than a player, Ja became a symbol, the embodiment of hard work, passion, and the belief that anything was possible. Yet stardom brought its own challenges. The NBA spotlight is unforgiving, and every misstep, every missed shot, was magnified under the intense glare of media and fans. Expectations soared, and Ja faced pressure not only to perform but to lead a young team through the highs and lows of professional basketball. The conflict now wasn't just about proving he belonged, it was about sustaining excellence amid the relentless demands of the league. Analysts debated his style. Some praised his creativity and courage, while others questioned his consistency. Yet Ja remained undeterred, letting his game speak louder than the critics. His humility off the court, combined with his explosive play, won respect across the league. He was not just a star in the making. He was a catalyst for a new era in Memphis basketball. As the season unfolded, Ja's highlight plays became legendary, jaw-dropping dunks, no-look passes, and clutch shots that left arenas roaring. His journey from overlooked prospect to NBA